Okay, let's talk about practically. What does it mean for wives?
Okay. So I'm going to speak to the husbands and just give you handles what we as women want to make us feel loved. So just to go back to that scripture in Genesis 2 verse 24, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So this covers that first sentence. She wants you to be close. So cleave in Hebrew means it's to cling, hold, keep close. We want you to be close. You know, God is love. And when we're close to God, He overwhelms us with His love. And in the same way, we want you to be close. Love can't grow when there's distance. Me and Adrian can't waltz, do that dance, if there's distance between us. Because then we can't, with distance, love can't grow. It can't challenge. It can't be intimate. It can't relate. So we want that closeness. And I'm not talking about physical closeness the whole time. That is impossible. I'm talking about emotional closeness, a spiritual closeness. I want to know that He likes me and He wants to be my friend, and His preference would be to be with me, you know. And I want Him to be inclusive, not be exclusive. So we as women want face-to-face time. Men, most of all, want shoulder-to-shoulder time. Okay, so we need to know that. So Aiden knows that if he comes home after a day's work, he usually makes coffee for us and we have just a bit of just catching up time. But I know if those 5 minutes is really authentic and he wants to sit with me and hear my day and we can discuss things, I don't need hours of closeness. We just want that face-to-face. Look at me, look at me in the eyes, and let's communicate, because communication is a big thing in marriages. The other thing, don't show us closeness just before bedtime. It's not going to go down well. It's an atmosphere you create on a daily basis. It's the closeness. Okay. The second one is she wants you to open up to her. We want you to be open to us. And I think this is a difficult one for guys because they don't talk that easily, especially about emotions and feelings. But it's our way of feeling connected to you. And we want to feel connected to you. So if I ask Aiden, who just phoned you, it's not that I don't trust him or I want to interrogate him. I just want to feel connected. I want to be on the same page. We often read one another's WhatsApp messages, because there's no time to talk, and then we catch up on things through that. But it's just openness. There's no secrets between us. So communication is a very important thing. As soon as we feel you have secrets or you excluding us, for us as women, it affects our body, mind, and soul, and our spirits feel crushed. And when our spirits are crushed, our bodies are unavailable. So it affects a lot for us when we feel we're excluded and you keeping things secret. So even be open, communicate, be vulnerable. Even when you mess up, be vulnerable. When we mess up, tell us so that you don't sit with bitterness towards us and it can grow and it can turn into harshness.
Can I just add something? The way in which a husband is wired is that it's kind of like if something is wrong, I'll let you know. So if I'm not saying anything, we're all good. But the way the wife is wired is she just wants the relationship to be kept up to date. So tell me that everything's okay. Like, let's keep talking because I just want to hear it. But we got to know that there's these two different ways, and a husband is inclined to say, well, I'll speak. I'll let you know if something's out of place. But if you hear nothing from me, just take it as a thumbs up. And the wife is like, no, we just want to talk about things. Like, we just want to keep our relationship up to date, stay close.
The next one is she wants you to listen. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this funny video clip of this couple talking, and she's got a nail in her head, a big nail, but it's not obviously fake. And they sitting on the couch having a conversation, and she's trying to tell her husband that she's got this terrible headache. It's all over her. And he's trying to tell her, babes, can I just, pull the nail out? And so he will go to her and say, can I just, it's like, stop fixing me. You always want to fix me. Just listen. I've got this headache and all my sweaters are nicked. And it's the funniest video clip. But what she is trying at the end, he just hugs her and says, I understand. And the nail is still in her head. But what is...
So when they hug, the nail goes into his eyes, like, oh, good.
It's really a funny video clip. All she wanted was just hear me. Just listen. Don't try and fix me all the time. Just listen. You must understand that the husband reflects Christ, and we as wife, we the church. And just as the church put all its burdens onto Jesus, we want to do the same with our husbands. We want to just put our burden onto you, and we just want you to understand and to listen to us. We don't always need all the fixing. Don't tell us, stop crying. Just, why are you crying so much? You're always crying. Just listen, just hear, just give us an ear and show us sympathy. Then we feel loved. She wants you to say, I'm sorry. Now, I think here the blue and the pink language comes in, because when we say we're sorry, we feel like we want to connect with you again. We want to bring peace in the house. But when men say they're sorry, they're scared to say that because they feel like they're admitting to guilt, first of all, and that they might lose respect or give you more ammunition not to respect them. And it's not like that. Husbands, if you say you're sorry, we feel like you're building that bridge again. You're building towards us to connect again, to have peace again in the house. Please say you're sorry. In Proverbs 15 verse 1, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And in Colossians 3 verse 19, it says, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. There's a reason why God put this in the Bible. He knows that us as wives cannot handle harshness. We can still handle it from other people, but from our husbands, harsh words, it devastates our spirits. And I think it's in the Bible as well, because God knows that men struggles with this, So I think there's another translation that they use, instead of harshness, they say bitterness. And bitterness comes from unmet expectations, disappointments, and if it doesn't get dealt with, it's this reservoir that just builds up with hurt feelings and bitterness, and then you start to snap. And you say silly things to one another, but actually the underlying thing is this reservoir of hurt feelings because it hasn't been dealt with. So speak easily, keep the peace. When something bothers you, speak about it immediately so it can be dealt with. And it's not something that builds up and it builds up in your lives. So be kind, be gentle, keep the peace. And the next one is she wants to know that you are committed. That when Aiden spoke about when we 18, we dunking rusks, that is commitment. It's loyalty. So like Adrian now just said, when we ask you, do you love me? It's not that we're asking for information. We're asking for reassurance. That's what we want. We know. Or we think sometimes you love us, but reassure us that we are the only one. The grass is not always greener on the other side. We sat with so many couples that when there's infidelity and the husband or wife moves away, just a year later, not even a year later, that spouse wants to come back, and then it's sometimes too late. It's really not greener on the other side. Stay committed, stay loyal. Stay true in your covenant in action and speech. The last one is she wants you to cherish her. We want you to honor and cherish us. 1 Peter 3 verse 7, it says, live in an understanding way with your wives. And then it carries on saying, and show her honor or respect as a fellow heir of the grace of life, so that your prayers will not be hindered. So just maybe for some of you, if you feel like your prayers have been hindered, maybe you are not honoring your wife the way God intended you to honor her. And simple ways of honoring your wife. Be proud of her. Show that you're proud of her. Speak well of her. Never embarrass her in public or at home. Teach your children to respect her. Always stand by her side and back her in front of your kids. Never go against her in front of your kids. Remember anniversaries, birthdays, all those things. It's just part of showing honor and to cherish her. Know her love language. You can come home and wash the dishes every day, but all she wants is that 5 minutes of coffee with you. So know what makes her tick. And then the last thing I want to mention, never ever forget to laugh. We laugh a lot. We laugh at one another. We laugh together. We don't take life seriously. We take God and the things of God seriously. But we need to laugh more. Honestly, we need to see the fun in life and fun in marriage and just to have fun together. And here's what I actually picked up about laughter. Laughter decreases stress hormones and increases immune cells and infection, fighting antibodies, thus improving your resistance to disease. It even lowers blood pressure. How's that? Laugh. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Endorphins promote an overall sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve pain. How good is God that He created us like that? So don't take it too serious. Life, have fun together. Discover one another again. Discover your dreams again, and laugh.
It's brilliant. I mean, just that thing of cherishing your wife and expressing that, like just the simplicity of it as a husband. If you could, like, whatever time during the course of the day, early afternoon, if I send an SMS to Antoinette, just send her a message saying, yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you tonight. What that does for her, and I'm not doing it as like formula. It's just like, I think about it. I'm intentional with my words that she knows that I want to be with her and that we are together and that we'll always be together. And it's almost like you develop a covenantal language where you're expressing these things in a way that it's just clear to her. That's what our wives need. Let me speak to the wives in terms of husbands and what husbands want and look for. He wants you to admire his efforts. If I to, from my perspective, say what has helped our marriage immensely is that Antoinette is my biggest fan. She's my cheerleader. She just is. She's great with pom-poms. It's brilliant. But I just know she's, like when you've got someone on the side of the field that's just always rooting for you, that's how I feel she is with me. So whatever the efforts of the husband is, as a wife, be the cheerleader. And let your husband know. He wants to desire to work and to achieve, but at the same time, you got to show interest in that. You got to show appreciation for it. Show it. The second thing is he wants you to appreciate his protection and provision. Sometimes you need to just appreciate a husband's desire to provide and to protect. Because we're so quick to say, well, we're struggling here and things aren't what they should be. But man, if the husband's waking up in the morning early, getting in his car, going to work, there's a desire for him to provide. So he might not be providing, but then focus on his desire to provide and appreciate that, word that. I love the fact that you're so committed to making things work. Let him know that. The third one, he wants you to allow him to lead. So give him the space to exercise authority. Don't undermine a husband's authority with what can only be described as self-righteousness. I know better. Allow the husband to lead. Especially if he uses Jesus as the example, because then he's going to lead in a way that is just never going to be something you're going to want to contest. He wants you to acknowledge his insight. Now, here's an area of conflict that I think comes up very often, because men have insight, women have intuition, and they're both incredible gifts that God has given us. But don't ever allow your intuition as a wife to overshadow your husband's insight. So like the flip side for a wife is I want to just sit down with my husband and I just want to talk and I want to kind of just express the fact that I'm struggling with something and don't fix me. Please don't fix me. Just listen. The husband on the other side is wired in a way where he wants to apply himself. He's got insight, so let me apply it. And as opposed to giving him the space to that, there's kind of this sense of, well, I've got this gut feel, this intuition, and you're contesting him in that. There was a time where early in our marriage, we went through probably about 6 months, felt like 6 years, but 6 months of Antoinette would come to me regularly and ask, so such and such, what do you think? And I'd be, I would say X, Y, Z. And then later on, I'll find out she's done something else. She's like taken her own intuitive leaning. I'm like, okay. And then the next time she would come and ask me a different scenario, and I would give my insight, and she would go with her own intuition. I mean, she said it's just this strong, very independent. When we got married, she'd like already 32 years old when we met. So she had her own. She's strong and a little bit of stubbornness there, but she would ask my opinion. I would give it. I'm giving my insight, and then she would go with something else. And I just went quieter and quieter. And the levels of frustration were growing in me. And she didn't even know it, but I was dying on the inside. I was like, man, I'm giving you my insight, but you're not taking it. And we needed to sit down and I need to explain to her, babe, I don't know why you keep coming to me with these things, because like, I think you're asking for my advice. I give it and then you don't take it. So if you're not going to take it, then rather don't ask me, because this is really hard for me. But sometimes the intuition of a woman can be of such a nature that it overshadows the insight of your husband. Your husband's been gifted with insight and analytical, rational, let's work things out because I'm a fixer. And the wife is more, well, I got a gut feel here. But don't let your intuition override your husband's insight. Allow his insight to set order and give a direction for your home. Your husband wants you to be around. Antoinette said it, like a wife wants face-to-face time. So look at me in the eye, face-to-face. A husband wants shoulder-to-shoulder time. It's like he wants you to be close. He just doesn't want you to talk. Why are they talking? Just sit. Just sit. Can we just watch TV? Can we just sit? It's like, I want you to be around, but that's all. There's been times where, like, I'll be like multitasking just because of the busyness of life. So I'll have earphones in, I'm listening to something, but I'm also doing it. And so I'm like, hey, baby, like, just be around. Yeah. And then she's sitting, kind of like, okay, well, now we've got time. Earphones in, like, dude, seriously? Because it's that moment. Now we have time. Kids are in bed. It's great. And now we can't talk. It's like, let's use this time. We want to, but sometimes you just got to there's a bit of give and take. So there are just times where, we're going to talk and we're going to have the face-to-face, but allow your husband also just shoulder time. It's like, let's just be. Worry about talking later. And 10 to 1, if you allow that atmosphere, talking will happen. You'll get your face-to-face time. He wants you to aspire to intimacy. Now, we've got to know that physically, when a wife is not up to things and there's a big no, but for a husband, that's physical disrespect. So there's got to be a sense of wives also initiating sometimes. I think it is a space where men need to initiate most of the time. But for a man to know, like, my wife, she wants me, like, she digs me. She wants to spend time with me in that intimate way. It's healthy. It's just good for your marriage, good for a husband's respect tank. Because then it's not just about, this is just my needs, and I want to spend time with you in this intimate way, and whether you want it or not. Actually, he wants you to want it. He wants you to be in a space where you aspire to that physical connection. A wife is kind of like, we need to be close. We need to have that closeness, like kind of the atmosphere through the day, the boiling of the water and the kettle, so that we can be intimate. A husband finds closeness in the intimacy because it's like the switch, So look, we don't need to have the closeness to be intimate, but in being intimate, we find the closeness. And know that about your husband. So don't let intimacy be an area where disrespect starts to flow. And if you ever feel like I'm just saying yes out of duty or obligation, then let that obligation be limited to the decision, not the deed. Once you've decided, and you're be in and enjoy the moment together, because that intimacy is important for the husband to feel like, man, this is an area where, as far as respect is concerned, my wife and I are on the same page, and there's a satisfaction that I can see she's enjoying, and I'm being satisfied through this. But that's an area of respect that sometimes can be completely disempowering for a husband, to the point where it just leads to a whole bunch of unnecessary issues. When I've sat with people who have been unfaithful, and specifically men, it's again a respect issue, not a lust issue. I mean, it's like obvious. We think, oh, this guy is just, he's had a moment of weakness or multiple moments of weakness, and to the point where he's just rebellious, and he's neglected his wife, and he's run off with someone. But think about it. Think about what it's like to be disrespected at home, but to be highly respected by your secretary. Because your secretary is like, man, you are the bee's knees. You are amazing. You're such an incredible leader. I love the way you deal with people. You got such incredible business acumen. Those kind of comments, the guy's like, hey, I'm respected here. Completely disrespected at home, but yeah, I'm respected. Very often, infidelity is actually not a lust issue. It's a respect issue when it's by the husband. We got to know how important these things are, because that's where his tank is being filled. So he goes in that direction. I'm not saying lust is not part of it at all, but the driving force is I'm disrespected at home. My wife doesn't respect me. But this lady, she's my fan. She's a great cheerleader of mine. And that's where the weakness, because my tank is empty here, but it's being filled here, and infidelity ensues. So we've got to be really, really conscious of this and know just how important it is. So if we look at love and respect in light of eternity, we've got to know that we're not just looking at an ordered pattern. We want a renewed pattern. God must renew this pattern for us. And Jesus needs to be the center. This quote of Emerson Eggerichs, is the guy that writes that book on love and respect. He says, ultimately, you practice love or respect because beyond your spouse, you see Jesus Christ, and you envision a moment when you will be standing before him at the final judgment, realizing that your marriage was really a tool and a test to deepen and demonstrate your love and your reverence for your Lord. So when we bring our marriages under our relationship with Jesus, and we know that our relationship with Jesus is one of loving him and having absolute respect and reverence for him, we stand in awe of who he is. Then we know that when we allow that reality to start to find its way into our marriages, that it's representing more of our relationship with Jesus than anything else. And for that reason, and because God's made it so plain, we submit ourselves to his leading and to his guiding, and that he has said husbands must love their wives. Wives must respect their husbands. We can't afford not to do it. We've got to give ourselves to it.